Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope everyone is doing well, inshallah. Today we are continuing on with Surah Al-Dhariyat and starting the 27th juz. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulil Kareem amma ba'd faqad qala Allah fi al-Quran al-Majid ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim قال فما خطبكم أيها المرسلون قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمين لنرسل عليهم حجارة من طين مسومة عند ربك للمسرفين وأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said to the angels, then what is your mission, O messengers? They said, we are sent to a guilty people, the people of Sodom, so that we may send down upon them stones of clay marked by your Rabb for the transgressor. So we let the believers who were there to come out from dangers. فما وجدنا فيها غير بات من المسلمين وتركنا فيها آية للذين يخافون العذاب الأليم وفي موسى إذ أرسلناه إلى فرعون بسلطان مبين فتولى بركنه وقال ساحر أو مجنون فأخذناه وجنوده فنبذناهم في اليم وهو مليم. But we did not find in it any Muslims except one house, and we left in this event a sign of deterrence for those who fear the painful punishment, and we left a similar sign in the story of Musa when we sent him to Pharaoh with a clear proof. So he turned away along with his chiefs and said, Musa is a magician or a madman. So we seized him and his army and cast him into the sea as he was a culpable behavior. وفي عاد إذ أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم ما تذر من شيء أتت عليه إلا جعلته كالرميم وفي ثمود إذ قيل لهم تمتعوا حتى حين فعتوا عن أمر ربهم فأخذتهم الصاعقة وهم ينظرون فما استطاعوا من قيام وما كانوا منتصرين. And a similar sign was left in the story of Ad, when we sent upon him the wind that was barren from any benefit. It spared nothing it came upon, but rendered it like a stuff mashed with decay. And a similar sign was left in the story of Thamud, when it was said to them, enjoy yourselves for a while. Then they rebelled against the command of your Rabb, so the thunderbolt of divine punishment seized them while they were looking on. Then they were neither able to stand before the punishment nor could they defend themselves. وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين والسماء بنيناها بأيد وإنا لموسعون والأرض فرشناها فنعم الماهدون ومن كل شيء خلقنا زوجين لعلكم تذكرون ففروا إلى الله إني لكم منه نذير مبين. And we have destroyed the people of Nuh even before indeed they were a sinful people. And the sky was built by us with might, and indeed we are the expanders. And the earth was spread out by us as a floor, so how well we have spread it out. And from everything we have created pairs of two so that you may heed. So flee to Allah. Indeed, I am a plain warner sent by Him for you. So how does a person flee to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? So a person that flees to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means someone that runs away from sinful temptations and seeks refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and completely submits themselves to Allah. This is how you flee to Allah. ولا تجعلوا مع الله إلها آخر إني لكم منه نذير مبين كذلك ما أتى الذين من قبلهم من رسول إلا قالوا ساحر أو مجنون أتواصوا به بل هم قوم طاغون فتول عنهم فما أنت بملوم وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين. And do not make up any other God along with Allah. Indeed, I am a plain warner sent by Him for you. In a similar way, no messenger came to those before them, but they said, he is a magician or a madman, and they handed down the saying to each other as a legacy. Rather, they are a rebellious people. So turn away from them, for you are not blamed. And keep reminding, because reminding benefits the believers. وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين فإن للذين ظلموا ذنوبا مثل ذنوب أصحابهم فلا يستعجلون فويل للذين كفروا من يومهم الذي يوعدون. I did not create the jinns and the human beings except for the purpose that they should worship me. I do not want any sustenance from them, nor do I want them to feed me. In fact, Allah is the all-sustainer, possessor of power, the strong. So those who did wrong will have their turn like the turn of their counterparts. So they should not ask me to hasten on. Woe then to those who disbelieve because of the day of their hearts that are promised for the punishment. So the pagans would demand for the punishment to be hastened towards them, right? And this is the answer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them. That according to Allah and Allah's sunnah is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a specific time that is known to Allah for every single group to accept faith or to accept the truth. And when they do not accept it, then they are punished at a predestined time. So the previous nations have already taken their turns. They were given a certain time, they were given a warner, and then they were given the punishment that was destined for them. So the pagans of Makkah, at that time or at the time of the ayah, it was their turn as well. At that time, they were given some time to accept the truth, and they shouldn't be asking for a hastened time to for the punishment. So sooner or later, they will get their punishment or whatever their destined time is. So similarly, nowadays, we may not get a divine punishment with a book and a messenger, but for us, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has already come, and his message is sufficient for till the end of time. So similarly, a person nowadays, some people, some disbelievers do ask that, why isn't the punishment coming to me? Some people are like that even nowadays. That if I am, if God is real, then why doesn't He smite me right now? If He exists. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives everyone a predestined time of death, and He gives everyone an opportunity to accept the faith. سورة الطور بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والطور وكتاب مسطور في رق منشور والبيت المعمور والسقف المرفوع والبحر المسجور إن عذاب ربك لواقع ما له من دافع يوم تمور السماء مورا وتسير الجبال سيرا. By the Mount of Thur, and by a book written on an unrolled scroll, and by the populated house, Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, and by the roof raised high, and by the sea flared up with fire. The punishment of your Rabb is sure to fall. There is nothing to push it back. The day when the sky will tremble, a horrible trembling, and the mountains will move about, a terrible movement. So again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He uses another oath by the Mount of Tur. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses these oaths to not just prove a point, but to add into the emphasis of His statements and to provide a more clear eloquence in the language of the Quran. And as for the unrolled scroll, it's in reference to the Quran or the record of deeds. It could be either or. And for the Bayt al-Ma'mur is a house that is on the seventh sky. It's built for the angels, like the Kaaba is built for the human beings. And the angels, they make tawaf around this Bayt al-Ma'mur. فويل يومئذ للمكذبين الذين هم في خوض يلعبون يوم يدعون إلى نار جهنم دعا هذه النار التي كنتم به تكذبون أفسحر هذا أم أنتم لا تبصرون اصلوها فاصبروا أو لا تصبروا سواء عليكم إنما تجزون ما كنتم تعملون إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم فاكهين بما آتاهم ربهم ووقاهم ربهم عذاب الجحيم كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون متكئين على سرر مصفوفة وزوجناهم بحور عين. So woe to those who reject the true faith, who are indulged in vain talk, playing with the truth. The day they will be pushed to the fire forcefully, and it will be said to them, "This is the fire you used to deny. Is it then magic, or do you not see? Enter it now, whether you endure it patiently or impatiently, it is all the same for you. You are merely rewarded for what you used to do." Of course, the God-fearing will be in gardens and in bliss, enjoying what the Rabb will have been given to them, and the Rabb will have saved them from the punishment of hell. It will be said to them, "Eat and drink pleasantly because of what you used to do, relaxing on lined up couches, and we will marry them with big-eyed huris." والذين آمنوا واتبعتهم ذريتهم بإيمان ألحقنا بهم ذريتهم وما ألتناهم من عملهم من شيء كل امرئ بما كسبت رهين. And those who believed and their children followed them in belief, we will join their children with them and will not curtail the reward of any of their deeds at all. Every person will be pledged for what he earned. So, if the children of a pious Muslim they have belief in Islam, but their good deeds do not reach the level of their father, then they will be upgraded by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to join their father in paradise without reducing his reward, the reward of the father. And the next part of the ayah says, every person will be pledged for what he earned. So this is to clarify that contrary to the pious acts that may benefit one's children, the sinful acts of a father will by no means have no adverse effects on their children. Because Allah will not punish a person for the sins committed by another person, but a person is rewarded by the reward of another person. وأمددناهم بفاكهة ولحم مما يشتهون يتنازعون فيها كأسا لا لغو فيها ولا تأثيم ويطوف عليهم غلمان لهم كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون وأقبل بعضهم على بعض يتساءلون قالوا إنا كنا قبل في أهلنا مشفقين فمن الله علينا ووقانا عذاب السموم إنا كنا من قبل ندعوه إنه هو البر الرحيم فذكر فما أنت بنعمة ربك بكاهن ولا مجنون أم يقولون شاعر نتربص به ريب المنون. And we will go on giving them whatever they desire of fruit and meat. They will snatch from another in a friendly manner a glass of wine, carrying neither absurd talk nor something leading to sin. And their own serving boys will rotate around them, who will be as neat and clean as if they were hidden pearls. And they will advance to one another, asking about each other's welfare. And they will say, indeed, we were afraid of Allah's punishment when we were amidst our family, but Allah did favor to us and saved us from the torment of the fire's scorching breath. We used to pray to Him before. He is surely the most kind, the most merciful. So keep reminding them, because by the grace of your Rabb, you are neither a soothsayer nor a madman. Do they rather say he is a poet for whom we are awaiting the accident of death? أم تأمرهم أحلامهم بهذا أم هم قوم طاغون أم يقولون تقوله بل لا يؤمنون فليأتوا بحديث مثله إن كانوا صادقين أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون أم عندهم خزائن ربك أم هم المسيطرون أم لهم سلم يستمعون فيه فليأت مستمعهم بسلطان مبين أم له البنات ولكم البنون أم تسألهم أجرا فهم من مغرم مثقلون. So say, wait, I am waiting with you as well. Is it their intellects that direct them to say this, or are they a rebellious people? Do they rather say he has forged it? No, but they do not believe. So let them bring a discourse like this if they are truthful. Is it that they are created by none, or are they themselves the creators? Or have they created the heavens and the earth? No, but they are sure of nothing. Or do they have the treasures of your Rabb, or have they acquired control over them? Or have they a stairway to the heavens by means of which they listen to the divine decrees? If so, their listener must bring a clear proof. Is it that he has daughters and ye have sons? Or is it that you, O Prophet, ask them for a fee and therefore they are burdened with a liability? أم عندهم الغيب فهم يكتبون أم يريدون كيدا فالذين كفروا هم المكيدون أم لهم إله غير الله سبحان الله عما يشركون وإن يروا كسفا من السماء ساقطا يقولوا سحاب مكروم فذرهم حتى يلاقوا يومهم الذي فيه يصعقون يوم لا يغني عنهم كيدهم شيئا ولا هم ينصرون وإن الذين ظلموا عذابا دون ذلك ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون واصبر لحكم ربك فإنك بأعيننا وسبح بحمد ربك حين تقوم ومن الليل فسبحه وإدبار النجوم. Or have they the knowledge of the unseen and they are recording it? Or do they intend to plan to do harm to the Prophet? Then the disbelievers themselves shall be harmed by the plan. Or do they have a God beside Allah, pure as Allah from what they associate with Him? Even if they see a piece falling down from the sky, they would say it is a cumulated cloud. So leave them until they face their day, in which they will be turned conscious, and they will be turned unconscious. The day their planning will not benefit them in the least, nor will they be helped. And for those who did wrong, there is another punishment before that, but most of them do not know. And O Prophet, be patient about the decision of your Rabb, because you are in front of our eyes, and proclaim the purity of your Rabb along with his praise when you stand in prayer, and in parts of night too proclaim his purity, and at the time of setting of the stars. So a quick gist of what these final ayat of Surah Tur are. Basically, this is in response to the pagans and the disbelievers of Makkah. And basically, these ayat are a response to those questions and to what those disbelievers and the pagans would say, right? We've gone through this numerous times in the previous surahs as well. But just a quick review over it is that the pagans would ask Rasulullah to either hasten the punishment or other, demands. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's response to that is A, He doesn't hasten these punishments, B, these are absurd demands, and if you have any arguments or if you have any of these type of questions, then have some sort of evidence or proof and bring these questions on a rational ground. سورة النجم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى علمه شديد القوى ذو مرة فاستوى وهو بالأفق الأعلى ثم دنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى فأوحى إلى عبده ما أوحى. By the star when it goes down to set, your fellow, the Prophet ﷺ, has neither missed the way nor did he deviate. He does not speak out of his own desire. It is but revelation revealed to him. It is taught to him by one angel of strong faculties, the one of vigor. So he stood poised while he was on the upper horizon. Then he drew near and came down, so as he was at a distance like that of the two boughs joined together, rather even nearer. And so Allah revealed to his slave what he revealed. So a star has two characteristics. Number one, it never deviates from its path, and two, it is a source of guidance for a traveler in the deserts or a person that has no compass. Right? So people that follow the stars are able to be guided, either following the true north or whatever. You're able to find your way home. So similarly, Rasulullah ﷺ never deviated from the path of truth, and he is a source of guidance for all of humanity. So if a star has reached its setting point, its guidance is more pronounced, and provided that a seeker of guidance does not become late in benefiting from it. So similarly, one who wants to seek guidance from Rasulullah should seek guidance from Rasulullah before it is too late. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions your fellow, the Prophet Muhammad, the sense is that Rasulullah, he was a fellow amongst the people of Makkah. He was a citizen, he was their friend, family, acquaintance, right? He was the most trustworthy, he was with them for 40 years, right? 40 years, and he was known as a person that was truthful and honest. And after 40 years is when he had his prophethood. So, every single aspect of his life was fully exposed to them during this period. So the people of Makkah, they never, they never experienced anything false from him. They never experienced anything bad from him, and that's why he had this sort of nickname as being the truthful one, uh, or the honest person. So as for the part of he was at a distance like that of two bows joined together, rather even nearer, um, when two people in Arabia entered into a pact of an alliance, both of them brought their bows so close to each other that they looked like one bow. And referring to this tradition, the distance between two bows joined together was taken as an expression to denote extreme closeness. ما كذب الفؤاد ما رأى أفتمارونه على ما يرى ولقد رآه نزلة أخرى عند سدرة المنتهى عندها جنة المأوى إذ يغشى السدرة ما يغشى ما زاغ البصر وما طغى لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى أفرأيتم اللات والعزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى. The heart did err in what he saw. So do you quarrel with him in what he sees? Indeed, he saw him another time by Sidratul Muntaha, the lote tree in the upper realm, near which there is Jannatul Ma'wa, the paradise of abode, when the lote tree was covered by that which covered it. The eye neither went wrong nor did exceed the limit. He has indeed seen a part of the biggest signs of your Rabb. Have you ever considered about the idols of Lat and Uzza and about the third idol, namely Manat? So this is in reference to the to Mi'raj, where Rasulullah he went to the upper realm with Jibreel alayhi salam, and Sidrat al-Muntaha was a lote tree of the extreme. So the low tree is at a point where the knowledge of every knowledgeable comes to an end, and no one knows beyond it except Allah. And Jannat al-Ma'wa is paradise of abode. It is a part of Jannah, and here is where Rasulullah saw Jibreel alayhi salam in his real form. ألكم الذكر وله الأنثى تلك إذا قسمة ضيزى إن هي إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن يتبعون إلا الظن وما تهوى الأنفس ولقد جاءهم من ربهم الهدى أم للإنسان ما تمنى فلله الآخرة والأولى. Is it that you have males and he has females? If so, it is a bizarre division. These are nothing but names you and your fathers have invented. Allah has sent down no authority attached to them. They are following nothing but conjecture and what their own souls desire, while guidance from their Rabb has surely reached them. Is it that man can get whatever he wishes? No, because it is Allah. It is to Allah alone belongs the good of the hereafter and the former life of this world. وكم من ملك في السماوات لا تغني شفاعتهم شيئا إلا من بعد أن يأذن الله لمن يشاء ويرضى إن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة لا يسمون الملائكة تسمية الأنثى وما لهم به من علم إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا فأعرض عن من تولى عن ذكرنا ولم يرد إلا الحياة الدنيا ذلك مبلغهم من العلم إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بمن اهتدى. How many angels there are in the heavens whose intercession cannot benefit anyone at all, but after Allah allows it for whomsoever He wills and pleases. Those who do not believe in the hereafter call the angels by names of females. They do not have knowledge about it. They follow nothing but conjecture, and conjecture is of no avail in the matter of truth. So turn away from him who turns away from our advice and seeks nothing but pleasure of the worldly life. That is the limit of their access to knowledge. Indeed, only your Rabb knows well about the one who has gone astray from his way, and he knows well about the one who has adopted the right path. ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ليجزي الذين أساءوا بما عملوا ويجزي الذين أحسنوا بالحسنى الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم إن ربك واسع المغفرة وأعلم بكم إذ أنشأكم من الأرض وإذ أنتم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم فلا تزكوا أنفسكم هو أعلم بمن اتقى أفرأيت الذي تولى وأعطى قليلا وأكدى أعنده علم الغيب فهو يرى أم لم ينبأ بما في صحف موسى وإبراهيم الذي وفى ألا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى وأن سعيه سوف يرى. To Allah belongs whatever there is in the heavens and whatever there is in the earth. So what He gives punishment, so that He gives punishment to evildoers for what they did, and gives good reward to those who did good, those who abstain from the major sins and from shameful acts, except minor involvements. Indeed, your Rabb is extensive in forgiveness. He knows you more than anyone else from a time when He created you from the earth and when you were embryos in the wombs of your mothers. So do not claim purity from faults for yourselves. He knows best who is God-fearing. Did you see the one who turned away and gave a little and stopped? So this is in reference to a person, his name was Walid. He was inclined to accept Islam. One of his friends assured him that if he pays to him a certain amount of money, the latter would offer himself for punishment in the hereafter in lieu of the former. So Walid started paying to him under that belief, but after some time he stopped the payment. And according to these reports, these ayat were revealed in this background. Does he have knowledge of the unseen whereby he sees what he believes? He has not been told of what was revealed in the scriptures of Musa and of Ibrahim, who fulfilled his duties. And it was that no bearer of burden shall bear the burden of the other, and that a man shall not deserve but the reward of his own effort, and that his effort will soon be seen. ثم يجزاه الجزاء الأوفى وأن إلى ربك المنتهى وأنه هو أضحك وأبكى وأنه هو أمات وأحيا وأنه خلق الزوجين الذكر والأنثى من نطفة إذا تمنى وأن عليه النشأة الأخرى وأنه هو أغنى وأقنى وأنه هو رب الشعرى وأنه أهلك عادا الأولى. Then he will be recompensed for it in full, and that to your Rabb is the end of everyone, and that He is the one who makes one laugh and makes him weep, and that He is the one who gives death and gives life, and that He creates the pairs, male and female, from a sperm drop when it is poured into a womb, and that the second creation is undertaken by Him, and that He is the one who gives wealth and preserves it, and that He is the one who is a Rabb of Sirius, the star worshipped by the pagans, and that He has destroyed the earlier Ad. وَثَمُودَ فَمَا أبقى وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا هم أظلم وأطغى والمؤتفكة أهوى فغشاها ما غشى فبأي آلاء ربك تتمارى هذا نذير من نذر الأولى أزفت الآزفة ليس لها من دون الله كاشفة أفمن هذا الحديث تعجبون وتضحكون ولا تبكون وأنتم سامدون فاسجدوا لله واعبدوا. And Thamud so spared none and destroyed the people of Nuh even earlier. Surely they were more unjust and more rebellious, and he destroyed the overturned towns of the people of Lut as well. So enveloped they were by that which enveloped. So this enveloping was an earthquake, and the expression in Arabic signifies the terrible nature of the earthquake and the rain that followed it. Then concerning which of your Lord's bounties would you remain in doubt? And this is a warner from the previous warners. The imminent hour of judgment has approached. There is no one besides Allah to remove it. Do you then wonder at this discourse and laugh at it and not weep while you are engaged in vain play? Now fall down in prostration and worship Allah. Again, this is another sajda ayah. So please remember to do sajda after the class is finished. Surah Al-Qamar. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر وإن يروا آية يعرض ويقول سحر مستمر وكذبوا واتبعوا أهواءهم وكل أمر مستقر ولقد جاءهم من الأنباء ما فيه مزدجر حكمة بالغة فما تغني النذر فتولى عنهم يوم يدعو الداعي إلى شيء نكر خش عن أبصارهم يخرجون من الأجداث كأنهم جراد منتشر مهطعين إلى الداع يقول الكافرون هذا يوم عسر كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح فكذبوا عبدنا وقالوا مجنون وازدجر فدعا ربه أني مغلوب فانتصر. The hour of doom has drawn near and the moon has split asunder. When these people will see a sign, they turn away and say, this is a transient magic. They have rejected the truth and followed their desires, while every matter has to settle at some time. And there has come to them as much news of the earlier communities, and it is enough to deter, containing a perfect wisdom. But the warnings are of no avail to them, and they turn aside from them on the day in which the caller will call to them to a gruesome object. With their eyes humbled, they will come out of the graves like locusts spread all over, rushing quickly towards the caller on that day. The disbelievers will say, this is a hard day. The people of Nuh denied the truth before them, so they rejected our servant and said he is a madman, and he was also threatened by them. So he prayed to his Rabb, saying, I am overpowered, so defend me. So in reference to these, the moon being split, this was a miracle that Rasulullah ﷺ performed. In a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, the pagans of Mecca asked Rasulullah to show them a miracle. So he showed them the moon splitting in two parts. And when the pagans, they saw this, they said that, this is magic. And then several people came from different directions who testified that they saw the two parts of the moon when they were far away from Mecca. So this was another proof that it was indeed a real miracle and not magic. Right, if it was magic, then it would only be seen from a certain angle, and probably if you were closer to Mecca. But if you're far away from the place and you were to see the exact same thing, it could not have been an illusion, and it had to have been a fact. ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر وفجرنا الأرض عيونا فالتقى الماء على أمر قد قدر وحملناه على ذات ألواح ودسر تجري بأعيننا جزاء لمن كان كفر ولقد تركناها آية فهل من مدكر فكيف كان عذابي ونذر ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر كذبت عاد فكيف كان عذابي ونذر إنا أرسلنا عليهم ريحا صرصرا في يوم نحس مستمر تنزع الناس كأنهم أعجاز نخل منقعر. So we opened the gates of the sky with water pouring forth profusely, and we caused the earth to gush forth as springs, so the water of both kinds met together for a destined event. And we caused Noah to board that ship which had planks and nails, which sailed under our eyes as a reward for the one who was rejected by the infidels, and we left it as a sign. So is there one to take a lesson? Then how was my torment and my warnings? Indeed, we have made the Quran easy for seeking advice. So is there one to heed to the advice? The people of Ad rejected their prophet. So how was my torment and my warnings? We did send to them a furious wind in a day of continuous misfortune. Plucking people away as if they were trunks of uprooted palm trees. فكيف كان عذابي ونذر ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر كذبت ثمود بالنذر فقالوا أبشرا منا واحدا نتبعه إنا إذا لفي ضلال وسعر ألقى الذكر عليه من بيننا بل هو كذاب أشر سيعلمون غدا من الكذاب الأشر إن مرسل الناقة فتنة لهم فارتقبهم واصطبر ونبئهم أن الماء قسمة بينهم كل شرب محتضر فنادوا صاحبهم فتعاطى فعقر فكيف كان عذابي ونذر. So how was my torment and my warnings? Indeed, we have made the Quran easy for seeking advice. So is there one to heed to the advice? The people of Thamud rejected the warners. So they said, shall we follow a single human being from among us? Then we will be in error and insanity. Is it that the advice has been cast upon him alone out of all of us? No, but he is a bragging liar. Tomorrow they will know who the bragging liar is. We are going to send the she-camel as a trial for them. So watch them, O Salih, and keep patience, and tell them that the water of the well is to be shared between them and the she-camel. So as the right of having water shall be attended by each alternatively. Then they called their man to kill the she-camel. So he undertook the task and killed her. So how was my torment and my warnings? إنا أرسلنا عليهم صيحة واحدة فكانوا كهشيم المحتضر ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر كذبت قوم لوط بالنذر إنا أرسلنا عليهم حاصبا إلا آل لوط نجيناهم بسحر نعمة من عندنا كذلك نجزي من شكر ولقد أنظرهم بطشتنا بطشتنا فتماروا بالنذر ولقد راودوه عن ضيفه فطمسنا أعينهم فذوقوا عذابي ونذر ولقد صبحهم بكرة عذاب مستقر فذوقوا عذابي ونذر ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر. We sent upon them a single cry, and they were like crushed leaves of a hedge builder. Indeed, we have made the Quran easy for seeking advice. So is there one to heed to the advice? The people of Lut rejected the warners. We sent upon them a rain of stones, except the family of Lut, whom we saved in the last hours of the night as a grace from us. This is how we reward the one who offers gratitude. And he had certainly warned them of our grasp, but they disputed the warnings. And they had even tried to tempt him against his guests, so that they may snatch them away for bad purpose. But we blinded their eyes. Now taste my torment and my warnings. And on the next morning a lasting torment overtook them. Now taste my torment and my warnings. Indeed, we have made the Quran easy for seeking advice. So is there one to heed to the advice? ولقد جاء آل فرعون النذر كذبوا بآياتنا كلها فأخذناهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر أكفارهم خير من أولئكم أم لكم براءة في الزبر أم يقولون نحن جميع منتصر سيهزم الجمع ويولون الدبر بل الساعة موعدهم والساعة أدهى وأمر إن المجرمين في ضلال وسعر يوم يسحبون في النار على وجوههم ذوقوا مس سقر إنا كل شيء خلقناه بقدر وما أمرنا إلا واحدة كلمح بالبصر. And the warners came to the family of Pharaoh, but they rejected all our signs. So we seized them, a Caesar, by one mighty, powerful. Are the disbelievers among you in a better position than all of the aforesaid punished people, or do you have immunity in these sacred books, or do they say we are a large group, well defended? Soon this large group shall be defeated, and all of them will turn their backs. And this ayah was revealed to foretell that the pagan chief of the Quraysh should be defeated. Rather, the hour of judgment is their appointed time for their full recompense. And the hour is more calamitous and more bitter. Surely the guilty ones are in error and madness. On the day when they will be dragged into the fire on their faces, it will be said to them, taste the touch of hell. Verily, we have created everything according to our predestination. And implementation of our command is no more than a single act, like the twinkling of an eye. وَلَقَدْ أَهْلَكْنَا أَشْيَاعَكُمْ فَهَلْ مِن مُّدَّكِرٍ وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ فَعَلُوهُ فِي الزُّبُرِ وَكُلُّ صَغِيرٍ وَكَبِيرٍ مُسْتَطَرٍ إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ فِي جَنَّاتٍ وَنَهَرٍ فِي مَقْعَدِ صِدْقٍ عِندَ مَلِيكٍ مُقْتَدِرٍ. We have destroyed people like you, so is there one to take a lesson, and everything they have done is recorded in the book of deeds, and everything small or big is written down. Of course, the God-fearing will be in gardens and rivers, in a seat of truth near to the omnipotent sovereign. Surah Al-Rahman. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام. The Rahman, He has taught the Quran, He has created man, He has taught him how to express himself. The sun and the moon are bound by a fixed calculation, and the star and the tree both prostrate to Allah. He raised the sky high and has placed the scale so that you should not be wrongful in weighing. Observe the correct weight and fairness, and do not make weighing deficient. As for the earth, He has placed it for the creatures. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "One najm wa shajaru yasjudan," one najm here is being translated as a star. Uh, but the original word for vine is najm. It's commonly used for a star and for a plant whose stem requires support and it climbs on a wall. So like a vine, right? And here in this ayah, both of the meanings are possible. So since a tree is being used here, many mufassirin or many translators, they say that najm here is a vine. In any case, their total submission to Allah is described in this ayah as prostration. فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان in which there are fruits and date palms having teeth, and the grain having chaff, and fragrant flowers. So, O mankind and jinn, which of the bounties of your Lord will you deny? He has created man from dry clay, ringing like pottery, and created Jan, the father of the jinn, from a smokeless flame of fire. So, O mankind and jinn, which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? He is the Rabb of both points of sunrise and both points of sunset. So both points of sunset and sunrise, interestingly enough, means the points of sunset and sunrise during the summer and during the winter, as both points are different. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? He let forth the two seas to meet together, while there is a barrier between them. They do not encroach upon one another. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? From both of them come forth the pearl and the coral. So which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? And his are the sailing ships raised up in the sea like mountains. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? Everyone who is on it, the earth has to perish, and your Rabb's countenance will remain full of majesty, full of honor. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? All those in the heavens and the earth beseech him for their needs. Every day he is in a state of action. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار ونحاس فلا تنتصران فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فإذا انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيومئذ لا يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان Soon we are going to spare ourselves for you to reckon your deeds, O to heavy species of jinn and mankind. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny, O genera of jinn and mankind? If you are able to penetrate beyond the realms of the heavens and the earth, then penetrate. You cannot penetrate without power. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? A flame of fire and of smoke will be loosed against you, and you will not be able to defend. So which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? So it will be a terrible event when the sky will be split apart and will become rosy like red hides. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? On that day neither a man will be questioned about his sin, nor a jinn. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? يعرف المجرمون بسيماهم فيؤخذ بالنواصي والأقدام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هذه جهنم التي يكذب بها المجرمون يطوفون بينها وبين حميم آن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ولمن خاف مقام ربه جنتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ذواتا أفنان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان تجريان The guilty ones will be recognized by angels through their marks and will be seized by foreheads and feet. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? This is Jahannam that the guilty people deny. They will encircle around them, will circle between them and between hot boiling water. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the punishment of Jahannam in the context of divine bounties for two reasons. One, because it is one of Allah's favors that human beings and jinns are told beforehand what is going to happen on Yawm al-Qiyamah, so that they may prepare themselves for it. And two, the description of the possible punishments they may face in hereafter should prompt a person to offer proper gratitude on the divine bounties that are, given to them in this dunya. So this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored us in regards to to Jahannam. And for the one who is fearful of having to stand before his Rabb, so which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? Both having branches, so which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? In both there are two flowing springs. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما من كل فاكهة زوجان متكئين على فرش فيهما من كل فاكهة زوجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان متكئين على فرش بطائنها من استبرق وجنى الجنتين دان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهن قاصرات الطرف لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كأنهن الياقوت والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? In both there are two kinds of every fruit, so which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? The people of these gardens will be reclining on floorings whose even linings will be of thick silk, and the fruits plucked from two gardens will be at hand. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? In them there will be maidens restraining their glances whom neither a man might have touched before them, nor a jinn. So in terms of restraining their glances, it means that their full attention will be focused on their husbands, and their eyes will not be attracted by anyone else. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? They will look like rubies and corals. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? Is there any reward for goodness other than goodness? فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ومن دونهما جنتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مدهامتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان نضاختان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما فاكهة والنخل والرمان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهن خيرات حسان. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? And besides these two, there are two other gardens for the second category of the God-fearing. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? Both gardens are dark green. So which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? In both there are two springs gushing forth profusely. So which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? In both there are fruits and date palms and pomegranates. So which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? In them there will be women good and gorgeous. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان حور مقصورات في الخيام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان متكئين على رفرف خضر وعبقري حسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان تبارك اسم ربك ذي الجلال والإكرام. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? The Houris kept garden and pavilions. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? Whom neither a man might have touched before them, nor a jinn. So which of the bounties of your Rabb will you deny? The people of these gardens will be reclining on green cushions and marvelously beautiful mattresses. So which of the favors of your Rabb will you deny? Glorious is the name of your Rabb, the Rabb of majesty, the Rabb of honor. Inshallah, before we continue with Surah Waqi'ah, we just finished Surah Rahman. Before we continue with the 27th and Surah Waqi'ah, we'll have a quick little break, inshallah, for a minute or two, and then we'll be back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We are back. And for those of you that are wondering, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ is a question. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would recite this ayah on an occasion that was narrated in Tirmidhi, Rasulullah, he said to his companions when he was reciting these ayat, that, why is it that the jinns are giving a better response than you? And he mentioned that the jinns, they were saying, لا بشيء من نعم ربنا نكذب, that none of the favors of our Rabb do we deny. So this hadith is narrated in Tirmidhi and is an answer to فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. سورة الواقعة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثة فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة والسابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة. When the imminent event of doom will occur, there will be no one to deny its occurrence, and there will be abasing some and exalting others. When the earth will be jolted with a terrible jolt, and the mountains will be crumbled, a thorough crumbling, until they become dust scattered in the air, and you will be divided into three categories. As for the people of the right, how lucky will the people of the right be? So there will be two categories that will be from the believers. People of the right are common Muslims whose record of deeds will be given in their right hands. And the second category is mentioned later on as the foremost. And this category will be comprising of prophets, their companions, and other righteous believers that were in high quality. And then the third category is the people of the left. They are the disbelievers. And the people of the left, how wretched are the people of the left, and the foremost are the foremost. Those are the ones blessed with nearness to Allah and gardens of bliss, many from the first generations and a few from the later ones. So the people in the foremost category will be mostly from the earlier generations, and there will be a smaller amount of people from later generations, and they will fall into this category because the standard of what piety is has fallen and will continuously fall to the Yawm al-Qiyamah. They will be sitting on thrones woven with gold. متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون. Reclining on them, facing each other, immortal boys will rotate around them with bowls and jugs and a goblet of pure wine, from which they will neither suffer headache nor will they be intoxicated, and with fruits that which they choose. ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود. and the flesh of birds that they desire, and for them there will be houris having lovely big eyes, all neat and clean like a hidden pearl, as a reward for what they used to do. They will hear neither an absurd talk in it nor something leading to sin, but they will hear the words of salam, salam as greetings. And the people of the right, how lucky are the people of the right! They will be amid low trees with no thorns, and the trees of Talh, a banana or a fragrant tree, having layered layers upon one another, in a shade spread all over. وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إن شاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين. And water poured forth, and a lot of fruits, neither interrupted in any season nor prohibited, and mattresses of high quality. Surely we have made of those females in a special creation, and have made them virgins amorous to their husbands, matching them in age for the people of the right, comprising many of the first generations and many from the later ones. وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يسرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمبعوثون أو آباؤنا الأولون قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم. And the people of the left, how wretched are the people of the left! They will be in scorching wind and boiling water, and in a shade of black smoke, neither cool nor graceful. They were earlier in luxuries, and used to persist in major sins, and used to say, is it that when we die and become dust, it is that we will be raised again, and our ancient fathers as well say all the earlier ones and all the later ones will be gathered together for a fixed time of a specified day. ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناكم فلولا تصدقون فأفرأيتم ما تمنون أأنتم تخلقونه أم نحن الخالقون نحن قدرنا بينكم الموت وما نحن بمسبوقين. Then you, O the erring, the denying people, you will have to eat from the tree of Zaqqum and to fill with it the bellies. Then on top of it, you will have to drink boiling water and to drink the camels suffering from the disease of overthirst. This will be their welcome entertainment on the day of requital. We have created you, then why do you not believe in it? So tell me about the semen you drop in the wombs. Is it you who created, or are we the creator? We have appointed the times of death among you, and we cannot be frustrated. على أن نبدل أمثالكم وننشئكم فيما لا تعلمون ولقد علمتم النشأة الأولى فلولا تذكرون أفرأيتم ما تحرثون أأنتم تزرعونه أم نحن الزارعون لو نشاء لجعلناه حطاما فظلتم تفكهون إنا لمغرمون بل نحن محرومون أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون. from replacing you with others like you and creating you fresh in that form which you do not know, and you certainly know the first creation, then why do you not take a lesson? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has power to turn a person into another form, whether it be like an ape or a swine, and create another person or another people in your place. So Allah has created you from nothing, and therefore it is not beyond the power of Allah to do something like that as well. Well, tell me about that seed which you sow. Is it you who grow it, or are we the one who grows? If we so will, we will certainly make it crumbled, and you will remain wondering and saying we are laden with debt. Rather, we are totally deprived. Again, tell me about the water you drink. Is it you who have brought it down from the clouds, or are we the one who sends it down? If we so will, we can make it better. We can make it bitter in taste. So why do you not offer gratitude? أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون نحن جعلناها تذكرة ومتاعا للمقوين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين. Now tell me about the fire you kindle. Is it you who have originated its tree, or are we the originator? So this ayah is in reference to two specific types of trees found in Arabia called makhr and afar. And when the branches of these trees were rubbed with one another, they kindled fire. We have made it a reminder of our infinite power and of the fire of hell and a benefit for travelers in deserts. So proclaim purity of the name of your Rabb, the Magnificent. So I swear by the setting places of the stars, and indeed it is a great oath if you are to appreciate it. It is surely the noble Quran recorded already in a protected book, the Lawh-e-Mahfuz, that is not touched except by the purified ones, the angels, a revelation from the Rabb of the worlds. أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون فلولا إذا بلغت الحلقوم وأنتم حينئذ تنظرون ونحن أقرب إليه منكم ولكن لا تبصرون فلولا إن كنتم غير مدينين ترجعونها إن كنتم صادقين فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين. Is it this discourse that you take lightly and take your denial as your livelihood? So why do you not intervene when the soul of a dying person reaches the throat? So this ayah is in regards to those pagans that accepted Islam, or at least admitted in their hearts that Islam is a true religion, but they refused to accept it because they had other worldly desires that they wanted to do, or there were other outward external factors that prevented them from completely accepting it. So why do you not intervene when the soul of a dying person reaches the throat and you are watching, and we are closer to him than you, but you do not perceive? So if you are not going to be recompensed in the hereafter for your deeds, then why do you not bring the soul back if you are truthful? So they would claim forcefully that no one would be resurrected after their death, and if they would, and it was as if they will not allow him to come back to life. So they would express this claim, implying that life and death were in their own control. And the ayah says that when death approaches one of your beloved ones, you are totally helpless, and despite your wish, you cannot bring his soul back. If life and death is really in your control, then you should call a dying person back to life. So in case the dying person is from among those blessed with nearness, then for him there is comfort and fragrance and garden of bliss. And in case he is from among the people of the right, فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا له حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم. Then it will be said to him, peace is for you as you are of the people of the right. But if he is of the deniers, the astray, then for him there is entertainment from boiling water and burning in the hell. Indeed, this is certainly in its true sense. So proclaim purity of the name of your Rabb, the Magnificent. سورة الحديد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح لله ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. All that is in the heavens and the earth proclaims Allah's purity, and He is the mighty, the wise. To Him belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. He gives life and brings death, and He is powerful to do anything. He is the first and the last, and the manifest and the hidden, and He is all-knowing about everything. So Allah is the first because nothing existed before him, and he is the last in the sense that when the whole universe will perish, he will remain as alive as he is today, and he is manifest because the proofs of his existence are evident in every single part of the universe. والذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يعلم ما يلج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء وما يعرج فيها وهو معكم أينما كنتم والله بما تعملون بصير له ملك السماوات والأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور. He is the one who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then he positioned himself on the throne. He knows whatever goes into the earth and whatever comes out from it, and whatever descends from the sky and whatever ascends thereto. He is with you wherever you are, and Allah is watchful of whatever you do. To him belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and to Allah all matters are returned. يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل وهو عليم بذات الصدور. He makes the night enter into the day and makes the day enter into the night, and he is all knowing about whatever lies in the hearts. آمنوا بالله ورسوله وأنفقوا مما جعلكم مستخلفين فيه فالذين آمنوا منكم وأنفقوا لهم أجر كبير. Believe in Allah and His Messenger and spend out of that wealth in which He has appointed you as deputies. So for those of you who have believed and spent in Allah's way, there is a big reward. So the word that was used here is mustakhlafin, right? Mustakhlafin has two meanings. It can either be a deputy or a successor. And in the first meaning, deputy, it indicates that the wealth that is held by a human being is originally belonging to Allah. But Allah has made them His deputies or representatives to use it according to His directions. So although Allah has allowed a person to use it for their own benefit, it is also it should always be subject to the rules prescribed by Him in Sharia, prescribed by Allah in Sharia. So once it is believed that one is not the absolute owner of his wealth, it should not be difficult for him to spend according to the command of its absolute owner. So that's the interpretation of the majority of commentators, meaning that if and when you realize that your wealth, everything that you own, everything that you have right now, is given to you by Allah and not something that you yourself has completely done, then it's easier for you to spend it in the path of Allah. It's easier for you to spend it in ways that are according to the Sharia. However, if you believe that you yourself, every single penny that you have, you did it of your own volition, right? Everything you earned by yourself, right? True, you worked for it, but it was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that enabled these opportunities for you. He has given opportunities for you to earn these, for you to earn this wealth. If you don't realize these type of things, then really you become lost. And you become miser, and you start straying away from the path of Allah. Another meaning, mustakhlifin can also be in a sense of a successor. In this case, the ayah reminds the people that whatever wealth we have in our hands today has reached us from other people who owned it before us. So we succeeded them in its ownership, and ultimately it'll be passed down to others through any mode of transfer, including inheritance or spending. So that means every single penny that we own, every wealth that we have is always in motion, always in transit. It was given to us by someone else, and it will be passed down after we have passed away, or we give it to others by spending it. So remember to always spend in the path of Allah, because it will be passed down one way or another. وما لكم لا تؤمنون بالله والرسول يدعوكم لتؤمنوا بربكم وقد أخذ ميثاقكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. What is wrong with you that you do not believe in Allah while the messenger invites you to believe in your Rabb, and he has taken your covenant if you are to believe. والذي ينزل على عبده آيات بينات ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور وإن الله بكم لرؤوف رحيم. He is the one who reveals clear verses to his servant, so that he brings you out from layers of darkness into the light, and to you Allah is very kind indeed, very merciful. وما لكم ألا تنفقوا في سبيل الله ولله ميراث السماوات والأرض لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل أولئك أعظم درجة من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا وكلا وعد الله الحسنى والله بما تعملون خبير. And what is wrong with you that you should not spend it in the way of Allah, while to Allah belongs the inheritance of the heavens and the earth? Those who spend before the conquest of Mecca and fought are not at par with others. Those are much greater in rank than those who spend later and fought, though Allah has promised the good reward for each. Allah is well aware of what you do. So the reason why it was more valuable for the Muslims to spend before the conquest of Mecca is because before the conquest of Mecca, the Muslims, they faced many hardships. So spending money in fighting enemies in those days required a greater amount of sacrifice than it was required after the conquest of Mecca, when the Muslims became more stable in terms of finance, economy, and just overall stability. So that's why it was more deserving for those who spent before the conquest of Mecca rather than those later. However, the people who spent later were also rewarded as well. مَا ذَا الَّذِي يُقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا فَيُضَاعِفَ لَهُ وَلَهُ أَجْرٌ كَرِيمٌ. Who is there to advance a loan, a good loan to Allah, so that He multiplies it for him and he may have a noble reward? So a good loan, we mentioned this a long time ago. So it's due to mention this again, but a good loan refers to any charitable expenditure. And the reason why it's termed a loan to Allah is because Allah will repay this loan in the hereafter. So if you spend in right now, whether you pay zakah, sadaqah, or you give a donation to the masjid, this is all considered a charity in the path of Allah, right? And there are other examples as well. But in any case, whatever money that you give, that's technically a loan, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you in the hereafter. يوم ترى المؤمنين والمؤمنات يسعى نورهم بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم بشراكم اليوم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ذلك هو الفوز العظيم. On the day when you will see the believing men and the believing women, their light proceeding in front of them and to their right hand, it will be said to them, good news for you today, gardens beneath which rivers flow, to live therein forever. That is the great achievement. يوم يقول المنافقون والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم قيل ارجعوا وراءكم فالتمسوا نورا فاضرب بينهم بسور له باب باطنه فيه رحمة وظاهره من قبله العذاب. The day when the hypocrite men and the hypocrite women will say to those who believe, wait for us so that we may have a share from your light. It will be said to them, go back to your rear and search for light. Then a wall will be placed between them, which will have a gate. In its inner side, there will be the divine mercy, while towards its outer side, there will be the divine punishment. So this light that they want to share will be the light that is needed to proceed towards Jannah. So in some hadith, in some reports, the munafiqeen will be given some light at the outset because they pretended to be believers. But after some distance, they will lose the light because in fact they had no faith in Islam. So at that point, they will request the true believers to wait for them so that they may proceed in their company. ينادونهم ألم نكن معكم قالوا بلى ولكنكم فتنتم أنفسكم وتربصتم وارتبتم وغرتكم الأماني حتى جاء أمر الله وغركم بالله الغرور. They will call out to them, were we not with you? It will say, yes, you were, but you led your souls to a wrong way and kept waiting and remained in doubt and were deluded by fancies until Allah's command came to pass and you were deceived about Allah by the big deceiver. فَالْيَوْمَ لَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْكُمْ فِدْيَةٌ وَلَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارُ هِيَ مَوْلَاكُمْ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. So no ransom will be accepted from you today, nor from those who disbelieved, and your abode is the fire, and it is an evil end. ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق ولا يكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل فطال عليهم الأمد فقست قلوبهم وكثير منهم فاسقون. Has a time not yet come to those who believe that their hearts should be humble for the remembrance of Allah and for the truth that has descended through revelation? They must not be like those to whom the book was given before, but a long period passed on them in which they did not repent. Therefore their hearts became hard, and so many of them are sinners. So this ayah, subhanAllah, it gives a warning to the believers. It gives a warning to the believers that even though they say that they're Muslims, or even though they embraced Islam, they do not practice it and are involved in sinful acts. So this warning is that they should not follow the example of the Jews or the Christians, since despite believing in the divine books, they would often violate the instructions that were given to them, and they didn't really care about repenting until their hearts became so hard that they didn't have the ability to repent, and they died as sinners. And so their persistent violation of divine injunction led them, in some cases, to become open disbelievers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, He gives a warning to the believers. اعلموا أن الله يحيي الأرض بعد موتها قد بينا لكم الآيات لعلكم تعقلون. Know well that Allah revives the land after its death, and we have made the signs clearer for you so that you may understand. So the believers that were mentioned before, who are involved in sinful acts, are reminded in this ayah that they should never be disappointed by the huge size of their sins, because if they repent to Allah, no matter how many sins that they have, Allah will forgive them and will purify them once again, so long as their forgiveness, or their repentance rather, is sincere. And this purification is the same as Allah revives a dead land by showering rains upon it. So similarly, He showers His mercy upon those who make sincere tawbah against their sins, no matter how numerous those sins may be. إن المصدقين والمصدقات وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا يضاعف لهم ولهم أجر كريم. Surely those men who give sadaqah and those women who give sadaqah and have advanced a good loan to Allah, for them it will be multiplied, and for them there is a noble reward. والذين آمنوا بالله ورسله أولئك هم الصديقون والشهداء عند ربهم لهم أجرهم ونورهم والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب الجحيم. And those who believed in Allah and His messengers, those are the Siddiqs, the most righteous after the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, or rather the Shuhada, in the sight of your Rabb. For them shall be their reward and their light. As for those who disbelieved and rejected our verses, they are the inmates of hell. اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. Know well that the worldly life is but a play and an amusement and a show of beauty, an exchange of boastful claims between you, and a competition of increase in riches and children. All this is like a rain, the growth of which attracts the farmers, then it withers, and you see it turning yellow, then it becomes straw. And in the hereafter there is a severe punishment for the disbelievers and forgiveness from Allah and Allah's pleasure for the believers and the righteous. The worldly life is nothing but a material delusion. So the ayah, it presents the different stages of human life in the dunya. So in early childhood, man is attracted by toys and these type of amusements. And then in his youth, he is more interested in displaying his beauty and decor. And when he is more mature, he is involved in showing his superiority over others. Lastly, he is more interested in competing others in riches and children. And the lesson given is that interests of a human being are always changing. So something taken by him as most favorite at a certain age loses its value in his next age, so much so that he often laughs at it in the next phase of his life. So subhanAllah, how often, like almost every year, we'll look back that, last year I was so dumb that I used to do something like this or something like that. And we'll laugh about it, or we'll feel embarrassed about it. But, it's a feeling that is very relatable. So similarly, when he will see Allah's bounties in the hereafter, he'll realize that all attractive luxuries of the worldly life are no more than a delusion and more worthless than a toy that attracts a child in infancy. And so a person will look back at his youth and the time in the dunya and will laugh about it. سابقوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها كعرض السماء والأرض أعدت للذين آمنوا بالله ورسله ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم إلا في كتاب من قبل أن نبرأها إن في ذلك على الله يسير. Compete each other in proceeding towards forgiveness from your Rabb and to paradise the width, which is like the width of the sky and the earth. It has been prepared for those who believe in Allah and His messengers. That is the bounty of Allah. He gives it to whomsoever He wills, and Allah is a Rabb of the great bounty. No calamity befalls the earth or your own selves, but it is predestined in a book before we bring it into being. Indeed, it is easy for Allah. لكي لا تأسوا على ما فاتكم ولا تفرحوا بما آتاكم والله لا يحب كل مختال فخور. So that you may neither grieve on what has escaped you nor ever exult on whatever He has given to you. And Allah does not love any admirer over proud. So a person who believes in taqdeer being predestination, is not overcome by the extreme grief on a good thing he has missed. And he doesn't become, over exultant over something, over a good thing that he has achieved. For in the first case, he knows that whatever has happened was destined by Allah. And in the latter case, he believes that it was Allah who made it uh, possible through the taqdeer, that he could achieve the thing he is pleased with. In both cases, his own role is limited to a certain extent beyond which he should neither grieve nor exult. الذين يبخلون ويأمرون الناس بالبخل ومن يتولى فإن الله هو الغني الحميد. Those who are miserly and bid others to be miserly, and whoever turns away, then Allah is the all-independent, the ever-praised. لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط وأنزلنا الحديد فيه بأس شديد ومنافع للناس وليعلم الله من ينصره ورسله بالغيب إن الله قوي عزيز. We have indeed sent our messengers with clear proofs and sent down with them the book and the balance so that the people may uphold equity, and we send down iron in which there is strong power and benefits for the people, and we did it so that Allah knows the one who helps Him and His messengers without seeing Him. Surely Allah is strong, mighty. So the balance that was sent down is a symbol of equity, justice, and moderation between, the extreme of deficiency and the extreme of excess. The books that were sent to the messengers, they contain balanced rules according to the needs of their particular time and age. So that's the reason why, Musa alayhi salam was given a stricter ruling. Isa alayhi salam was given a more lenient ruling, and in our time was a little bit more balanced in between the two. It was more according to the time and age. So the objective of the books is to establish justice and balance. And if people aren't, ready to accept the guidance provided by the messengers in the divine books, then they persist on their injustice and imbalanced attitude. Iron is created to be used as deterrent and to give relief to the people oppressed by their unjust attitude. However, in peaceful conditions, iron is a source of other benefits for humanity. ولقد أرسلنا نوحا وإبراهيم وجعلنا في ذريتهما النبوة والكتاب فمنهم مهتد وكثير منهم فاسقون. Indeed, we sent Nuh and Ibrahim and kept the book and prophethood, continuing in their progeny. So some of those to whom they were sent were on the right path, and many of them were sinners. ثم قفينا على آثارهم برسلنا وقفينا بعيسى بن مريم وآتيناه الإنجيل وجعلنا في قلوب الذين اتبعوه رأفة ورحمة ورهبانية ابتدعوها ما كتبناها عليهم إلا ابتغاء رضوان الله فما رعوها حق رعايتها فآتينا الذين آمنوا منهم أجرهم وكثير منهم فاسقون. Then we made our messengers follow them one after the other. Then we sent after them Isa, the son of Maryam, and gave them the Injil, and placed compassion and mercy in the hearts of his followers. As for the monasticism, it was invented by them. We did not ordain it for them, but they adopted it to seek Allah's pleasure, then could not observe it as was due. So we gave the believers from among them their reward, and many of them are sinners. So, Rahbaniya, we've been over this, is the translation of monasticism, where a person who is monastic is a philosophy or a belief where you cannot attain the pleasure of Allah unless one abandons the worldly pleasures. So this is a certain extreme where a person does not, and a person that follows this belief is usually termed as a monk. So they do not marry, they do not eat delicious food, and they prefer to live in seclusion. So, in the beginning, it was pious, or it was some pious followers of Isa alayhi salam who would seclude themselves so that they might observe the requirements of their faith without any influence of any wicked people. In any case, this was an extreme in the religion. Another extreme that was in the religion of, or at the time of Isa alayhi salam, was that they made Isa alayhi salam a son of God or a god and began to worship him. So this was another extreme in the religion. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this in a previous surah as well. Now, in Islam, there is a certain extent to where asceticism is allowed, where you seclude yourself for athkar and ibadah. There's a certain extent to where this is allowed. But it is preferable, and as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself would say, that he himself is a prophet, he is the best of amongst us, and he himself marries, he fasts, he sleeps, he does what a normal human being is supposed to do, and therefore it is more preferable for us and better for us if we marry, if we eat the foods that are prescribed for us, and we don't make things that are haram for us that are made permissible for us. We sleep when it is time to sleep, we pray when it is time to pray, and we fast when it is time to fast. يا أيها لكم نورا تمشون به ويغفر لكم الله غفور رحيم. O you who believe, fear Allah and believe in His Messenger, and He will give you 2 shares of reward out of His mercy, and will make for you a light whereby you will walk, and will forgive you. And Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. لئلا يعلم أهل الكتاب ألا يقدرون على شيء من فضل الله وأن الفضل بيد الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. So that the people of the book may know that they have no control over anything from Allah's bounty, and that bounty is in Allah's hand. He gives it to whomsoever He wills, and that Allah is the Rabb of the great bounty. So Well, there's two things to mention in this ayah. Number one, that many people from the Jews and Christians did not really believe in Rasulullah because of jealousy, right? We've been over this many times. So they were annoyed because the last messenger should have been raised from the children, uh, or he was supposed to be raised from the Israelites, and Rasulullah was raised from the children of Ismail alayhi salam. So the ayah says that the messengership is one of Allah's bounty, which is not in the control of anyone besides Allah. And number two, many Christian priests used to issue letters of forgiveness. These letters were called indulgences in favor of people who offered enough money for that purpose, as if forgiveness of sins and entrance in paradise were in their hands. So the verse refuses absurd assumption. So many priests today still do this, where if you go to the church or whatever, and you cannot remember what it's called. Well, you talk to the priest, and you tell him about your sins and whatever, and if you tell him what you've done, then he provides forgiveness for you or on behalf of you or whatever the case may be. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says in this ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who controls forgiveness, and you have to ask for forgiveness directly from him, and it is only through sincere repentance that Allah will forgive you. And it's not that Allah won't forgive you, but Allah will forgive you so long as you ask. And with that, I say Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Alhamdulillah, we have just finished the 27th juz. Alhamdulillah, we have only just a few juz left, really a couple left. I'd just like to say Jazakallah khair for participating in these classes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you all. Inshallah, I will see you all tomorrow, and we will continue with the 28th juz. Yes, it's called confession, Jazakallah. Yeah, so they have a confession, and they talk to each other. They talk to the father, the priest, or whatever, and forgiveness is given to them. So yeah, so inshallah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Jazakallah khair. May Allah reward you all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the tawfiq to do amal on these ayat, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to perform many good amal in the month of Ramadan, or whatever is left of it. It's about a half of Ramadan left. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to perform many salawat as well, and to do tasbihat and azkar. So once again, Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope to see you all tomorrow.